Well, hello, Copper Dan.
Mr. Jack, how are you?
Good. I think my name actually says Ranger Jack Packer in there in
Ranger
case we want to
Jack.
go later live to a
Are
live.
you, can I ask you questions about the Yellowstone National Park? Are you that kind of ranger?
I will take leave of the screen and come back and actually Jack Packer may come on at that point to answer questions. Not me. I'll go have a cocktail in the corner while Ranger Jack Packer comes back.
Ranger. All right. Well, stay tuned, everyone, because Ranger Jack is going to be in later for questioning. We want answers. We demand answers.
I had so much fun putting together the You Don't Know Jack this week and, doing all kinds of fun stuff. And I had a couple PowerPoints. I shared one with you last week when I had an aha moment before Sunday and the documentation coming out.
That was a pretty neat aha moment. I don't know that it means anything, but it's fun to dive down rabbit holes.
And we can get to that today if we have time. But I think you're probably going to be the more vociferous of the two of us tonight. I'm kind of relaxed and laid back and feeling good about life. And you got all Copper Dan up in people's grill today.
I maybe I need to schedule a run and then come back and not go on Facebook.
All right, we're up to 50 people already. Let's say hello. We've got Jen, Zozo, Treasure Warriors. Hey, Ben, JK, Hooley, Rudy Green. Hey, Rudy. 9 Mile Hole, Rudy Green. Bobby Brass. The moon is our mission. Carrie Galloway. Hey, Apollo. Hillary is here from Xavier Marks. And
wow.
People say they've got Xavier Marks figured out, but then another week goes by and another week goes by, and yet the band still plays on and the book is still available on Amazon.com. Xavier Marks.
Let's go for a walk is in the house.
Yep.
Redneck
Vertigo's
Express.
Here. Redneck, Nomadic Madman, Debbie, 3D Bronze, Master, Treasure Creator, and Master Artisan, who actually created
I think he's just a master baiter.
Probator.
Master probator. Yes, every time I see the name Treasure Warriors, I always picture Jens. I picture Ben doing Jens' voice saying it.
Das ist gut, ja, das tut mir wirklich leid, Dan. Ja, see?
Oh, you betcha. Yeah. About
Bobby Brass says, I like when Packer Jack uses big words. I don't know what he means. Maybe when Ranger Jack Packer is here later, we'll get some big words. I don't know.
We're going to demand, as a community, we will demand answers, and we're not leaving until we get them.
All right. So we got a lot to go over tonight, Dan. I know we've got the number one game show in the treasure hunting community. Why is it the number one game show in the treasure hunting community?
Because it's the only game show?
That's correct.
Or because we took a vote between you and I, and we unanimously agreed it's the number one game show.
That is true. We've got the whole McCracken affair, which is actually also the name of Dan Brown's next book that's coming out. No, I'm kidding. But we'll be talking about the McCracken affair.
Maybe I should. I like Dan Brown books. If you should do one on the Forest Fen.
That's right. And we'll get into that. We'll talk about a slip up, if we have time, that happened in the chase community this week.
We can talk about the controversy going on Copper Dan's Facebook page right now.
There's a little bit of hysteria going on.
Hysteria. Much love to all.
We will talk about maybe seeing the sunshine instead of smelling the sunshine. And most importantly, Dan has a book to give away tonight. And most importantly, really seriously, out of everything that we're doing tonight is the St. Jude fundraiser. We'll get the link in chat. Dan's going to pull it up later, a live screen. There's the book.
There is the book. I have Dan, go ahead.
I was shocked. I was actually shocked yesterday morning when I got up and I checked the St. Jude's link and it was already over $1,000. I was like, what is going on?
You guys are awesome.
We haven't even formally announced anything yet. I know Ben promoted it. Mike and Capro promoted it. It's been promoted on Facebook. Just thank you to everybody. I know there was Dan and I have not donated to that yet because we're donating prizes and everything else, but I know he and I will make some donations. But
speak for yourself.
Yeah, that's and
I had to test it. I put a little bit into it as a test.
Well, I have not yet, just so you guys know that besides Dan and the people that have donated, that's not us trying to build that up yet. That is awesome. And we're going to continue to talk about the prizes that are going to be given away that you don't have to donate to win. But
so this isn't going to be, this isn't just a one-time thing. I mean, the first prize tonight is this book. And next week we got things to give away. And the week after that, we got things to give away. And probably the week after that. And I got something special coming to give away. So, you're not expected to give every single week. There we go. We got the Bobby Dazzler. We sat and watched him sign that on the tailgate of his truck.
Yes. You and Francis and Susan and I and Ben and Ashley and had a great day with Gary. Oh, and Ben says, we tried a game for the flies. We suck at it. We'll figure it out if there's a fly in there as well, too. All right.
Shoe fly.
I'm gonna look to screen share here because it's time to play, right, Dan? Here we go.
Sorry, I was reading something. It's time to play You Don't Know Jack.
All right, and I'm going to go full screen here. We're going to start off with this picture. If you don't recognize it, this picture, if you can see it. Can you see it, Dan?
I can see it.
This picture was from Susie Fenhaven's show on Friday. This is the third, I believe, painting from Fenhaven Fridays that on the back of it is called The Old Pepper Tree. The Old Pepper Tree, a 9x12. And let's go back and look at it again. Looks like a boy and a girl sitting looking at a pepper tree. And so I figured since it's Forrest Friend related, we should make it the Dr. Pepper Tree. So I changed it, added some bottles of Dr. Pepper. Susie, again, just screwing around with one of your photos 3 weeks in a row from your show.
Pepper, she's a pepper. He's
the old pepper tree is now, and those are the actual old bottles of Dr. Pepper like Forrest would have drank with Skippy as they cooled themselves on the formerly wet creek that is now the dry creek off of 9 Mile Hole, where the chest may have in fact been located. Woo! But
Rooster Cogburn asks, use your St. Jude link and clipped in. Oh, used your St. Jude link and shipped in. Sorry, can't read. Thank you, awesome. Rooster. Awesome. I will put the link in chat tonight when I get a second. After we get done with You Don't Know Jack, episode 11 already. Can you believe it?
It is episode 11. Each show will invite Jack Stuef to join us for a fun segment called You Don't Know Jack. Did you invite Jack? Did you send him the link, Dan?
He's sitting right over here.
Oh, he's right behind you. Okay.
He's come on to, I'm going to be speaking for him tonight, but he is here to defend himself.
All right. You're breaking up a little, so I don't know if that's me or Dan, but we're going to keep forging forward. And I did reset my router tonight, so I'm hoping it's not me.
I just reset mine before we went live. So we'll just keep rolling. We're good.
All right. So anyway, let's get right to question number one. Instead of me reading the same thing I read every week to start the game, since there really isn't anything for us to put as a disclaimer to the show. And let's go to question number one. Over to you, Copper Dan.
In another article that Jack wrote, he has some strong opinions about a memoir that was coming out soon. While some, not us, have blamed Forrest for the untimely passing of some searchers, Jack gave former Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld a nickname in that article. What did Jack refer to Rummy as?
What did Jack refer to Donald Rumsfeld, known as Rummy, to an article that he wrote? Oh, doody 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 doo 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 doody doo da 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 doody 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 doo.
Man of many talents. You can hum, you can whistle.
This one seems to be stumping the band tonight.
I see nothing. Crickets. Anybody? Bueller?
Donald Duck. Something Star B by Hooli. I don't know what that means.
Satan. Right. Dummy.
We're going to, in 5, 4, 3, 2, one.
3, 2, 1.
America's grandpa of death. Wow, that's pretty harsh, huh? Look at Dan's face. America's grandpa.
I think we lost you, Packer Jack.
Oh, you lost
Come
me.
in, Packer Jack.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
It's me. My thing just said my internet connection is unstable, but I think I'm back.
All right. Well, we hope you
I
get
didn't get to see the answer. What is the answer? It's not my fault.
It's America's grandpa of death.
Ooh,
it's pretty
Jack,
hardcore.
I am no longer going to defend you.
All right, I'm going to question number 2. When Jack answered an email to Cynthia, he talked about being jealous that some searchers had met and had access to Forrest. Since he had made slip-ups, he thought those searchers with access might have an advantage, but he later came to call access to Forrest something. What did Jack eventually come to call access to Forrest? What was the term Jack called searchers that had access to Forrest? Doody, 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 do. Oh, it says Debbie K got it. Grandpa of death. Nice call, Redneck Express. Oh, it says Hooley got it. Wait, is it higher up? Hooley got it, but it says message retracted. I don't know. I'll go back and figure that out. All right. What did Jack refer to searchers having access to Forrest? What did he say it was? Treasure Warrior says a detriment. That's incorrect.
Rudy Green
says privileged.
Privileged.
That's incorrect.
A detriment.
Yep. I'm not seeing any other guesses. Debbie says thank you. You're welcome, Debbie. All right. We're going to go
Happy
5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. A double-edged
sword.
Award. Ain't that the truth?
I hope these
He's
questions
the finder. He's the supposed finder, and the people that had all that access to Forrest, and none of them found the chest. A double-edged sword. Oh, here's a new question. Question number 3, a timely one. And you don't know Jack tonight? Copper Dan.
Oh boy, here we go. In the court document just released, it mentions Sarah Davis, the current and first female chief ranger at Yellowstone National Park. What are the names of Sarah's 2 dogs that moved with her to the park?
See what I do here, folks? Tonight we had a little you don't know Sarah, because it's got to be timely. These are current events. Sarah's in the news this week. Sarah is connected to McCracken affair, as we like to call it here. And Sarah moves to Yellowstone Park in 2019 with her 2 dogs. If you know the chase, should you know the name of her 2 dogs? Jen says, really? LOL. Yeah, really. Woo! This is for some serious prizes. We're talking Oak Island stuff. We're talking stuff from the Fen community. 3D Bronze says Justin and Entity. No, incorrect. Treasure Warriors Brick and Derby. That is incorrect. Bronze and Sniffer. No, that's incorrect.
Ellie.
Oh, Vertigo.
Guinea. Is that Ellie and Guinea?
Ginny? Eleanor Roosevelt, aka Ellie, and Ginny. Ellie and Ginny are Sarah Davis's dogs. And guess why I did that? Because she's just not a name. She's a human being too, my friends. Just because we read her name in a document, she's the chief ranger at Yellowstone National Park. She's a person that has 2 beautiful dogs named Ellie and Ginny. And let's go back on to question number 4, where I'm really tossing it up because this isn't even no new Jack. This is another you don't know Forrest question. This is about Forrest's grandpa on his maternal side, old Charlie Simpson. You should have learned doing research that Charlie left home at a young age and changed his last name. What was Charlie's last name before he changed it to Simpson? Oh, what is the real name of the last name of the maternal grandfather before he changed it to Simpson on Forrest's maternal side? Doody, 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 doop, 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 doop. Jen says, why do you know her dog's names? Because I do research. I looked it up. Sarah Davis was, you gotta go deep here. You gotta go deep if you want to play. Treasure Warrior says Emmett. No, I'm sorry, it was an old Charlie Emmett. Was not the name. 3D Brown's old Charlie Brown. You nailed it. No, 3D Brown's, you're wrong. But maybe Forrest thought of his grandfather as Charlie Brown. Treasure Warriors. Oh, I deleted it by mistake, Ben. I tried to hit not hide. Somebody said Cowling. No, it's not old Charlie Cowling. Oh, Vertigo again. See, here's Vertigo. Jack's brother comes through in the clutch again.
I think Vertigo has figured out that
McElwain.
really...
McElwain. Charlie Simpson, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, on September 27th, 1883. His parents are unknown. He ran away at the age of 13 years old and went into vaudeville as a song and dance man. He gave birth. His birth name was Charles Carl McElwain. The persecution which took him from his home was simply being Irish. It followed him into the show business where he changed his last name to Simpson. All his life, he insisted he was Pennsylvania Dutch. Sometime in 1945, he had contact with one of his older sisters, and it was at this time Carl's wife, Harry Beatrice Simpson, and his family learned of his name change. Well, speaking of his grandmother, Harry Beatrice Simpson, Forrest Fenn said the following in the blog on January 14th, 2011, referencing his maternal grandfather, Charles Carl Simpson. Of course, I didn't know her father, but I sure knew her husband pretty good. His name is Charles Carl Simpson, but everyone called him CK. There are 6 things I remember about that man. He was tough. He smoked cigars. He hated anyone who didn't drive a Ford. And he was a deadhead Democrat. He shaved with his hat on, and he didn't know I was there. I felt like a shadow around his place, and when he came home, I hid behind a tree as if I could find one close by. It's not funny, but he had a heart attack and died one morning while he was shaving with his hat on. I always wondered if the hat had something to do with it. And there you go, my friends.
I can't believe you read that whole thing.
Thanks for playing. You don't know Jack. And we've got Vertigo keeping people out of the copper kettle again. But Debbie gets in.
It's going to be a shame if Vertigo doesn't win for as many questions as he's got right. It's Frosty the Snowman.
All right, my friends, just had to put Frosty up there one more time, but I'm going to go back to stop sharing. Now, Copper Dan, I have plenty of slides for tonight if we need them, my friend.
Oh, I believe you.
But I'm going to turn it over to you. You wanted the floor. You wanted to talk about what you've seen.
Oh boy,
motion to intervene.
Is this thing on? Is my internet working? I don't think my internet's working. Oh, what should we talk about? Well, we got into a little bit of a heated argument on my Facebook page tonight because I got sick of people attacking, I think unjustly attacking Jack. And here's why. First of all, who gives a crap when he found it, what year he found it? It makes no difference. If you want to say a searcher, yeah, that's not what you said off air. There was a searcher that died. Well, that's kind of unfair for me to use that for me to defend him, because I'm not going to pick on a dead guy. But I just disagree that if Jack, let's back this up. So Jack, let's just say for the sake of argument that Jack found the chest in 19. And he's like, crap, it's in Yellowstone National Park. So put yourself in his position. You're Jack, and you just found the treasure chest. It's in whatever year, doesn't matter. And you're like, what have I got to do here? Because if I take this thing out of here, I'm in trouble. So you leave it and you go back and you probably talk to your attorneys and if he established residence in Puerto Rico, I don't know. There apparently does seem to be proof of that, but maybe he was doing that anyways. But maybe he was just trying to come up with a bunch of backup plans. So then he goes back in 2020 and retrieves it. I think put yourself in Jack's shoes. We might have done the same thing. And so what else was there? And then it just got to get my thoughts in order here. I don't know. It just No, I just don't like it that we're constantly going after Jack when we weren't in his shoes. Oh my goodness, look who just showed up. Ranger Jack.
And what's your name, son?
My name is Copper Dan, sir.
All right, Chromium Dale. What are we talking about tonight here?
We're talking about the unjust of Jack Stuef.
Just want to let you know I'm a Yellowstone Park Ranger, but also a member of the West Yellowstone Police Department. I serve both capacities. So what's your opinion on this whole thing about this motion to intervene?
I think Yellowstone National Park is overstepping its bounds, and it needs to stand aside.
Wow. Well, we've got a lot of people taking dookies at that 9 Mile Nuki, and we've got to make sure that there aren't a lot of these forest fanatics getting into our park and leaving messes at that area that you guys like to call the old 9 Mile hole.
You mean the messes that were already created from all the fishermen that were there, sir?
Now, if you want to get argumentative, Nickel Daryl, I'll go ahead and argue with you, but let's keep it on the fairway here, Cobalt Dick.
Well, you listen here, son. I've been around your park, and I've seen things.
Well, my friends at the West Yellowstone Police Department said you and your daddy were up that Barnes Hole trying to get across the old Madison River. And
yeah, last time I checked,
we had our eyes on you, Cadmium Carl.
Yeah, and what'd you see?
Oh, we saw enough. We saw enough that if you come back, Silver Mickey, we're gonna keep our eyes on you again, my friend.
All right. Well, you just keep your eyes peeled because I'm coming. Hell's coming with me.
All right, I gotta go shave my mustache, Beryllium Bubba. Good to see you.
All right, take care. There, Ranger. That was Ranger Jack, and he snuck off before we could ask him any serious questions, but. I don't know when Packer Jack. I don't know where Packer Jack went. When Packer Jack gets back, we'll have to ask. I think Packer Jack is just on his way back here. Packer Jack, can you hear me, son?
Yeah, what happened? I just went to
holy cow! You missed it. The guy, the ranger from Yellowstone National Park, made an appearance. We really didn't allow us to ask him any serious questions. He was he was calling names. He doesn't like searchers. Yeah. I think we should get him back by all getting together and throwing a big party in West Yellowstone and all going in his park, crossing the river there at that 9 Mile.
All I hear was Cobalt Dick, and I didn't know what that meant.
I mean, where did he come up? I think he's got a speech impediment or something.
Right. I posted on Sunday night that unlike some in the community, I was feeling a little bit more at peace. And you remember that mug I sent you back in July of last year, and I did not have a exact solve, but I was, from the time we've before we did this for 6 or 7 months before I did this, I was a Yellowstone guy. So I'm still holding out that until we get absolute confirmation, and people are like, well, what more do you need? We've got a legal document that talks about Sarah Davis, the park ranger. Yeah, we've got a legal document. And it, like I said, I felt more at peace because to me, it gets us closer to closure. But I also know there's a lot of people that are devastated. And you saw my responses to people that, whether they had a location in a different state or just believe that, this is all this could be all made up again by people in the search community or whatever. And I just want to let people out there know that Dan and I are only doing this to be positive. We're doing the St. Jude's fundraisers to be positive. We're doing all this. And for those of you that had the opposite feeling that I had on Sunday, I just wanted to express, we feel for you. We know that there's people that have gone through a lot in the chase. Dan, you were in it a lot longer than me, and there's people that go all the way back to
and that 2010. When I do get heated and I do come across as people, I mean, there's a couple that call me Jack's defender, and I get that. The reason I defend I come across as defending Jack is because I don't think you should come at him in that angle. I think he had a reason for what he did. Was it exactly right? Well, there was no no one's done this before, so there was no script to follow, no one to ask questions to. And if you found a treasure chest that was worth $1 million, what would you do?
Yeah, and you and I don't disagree a lot anymore, except your statement about the 2019. And I think your point is, okay, touche, you guys might be right on that, but what difference does that make? And we don't need to get into that because we've done. I hate the shows.
Well,
that keep
and a lot of people call it,
again, but
Jack's a liar.
Yeah.
He's very likely had to not tell the whole truth. Let's just say that maybe Jack isn't a liar, but maybe he's not telling the whole truth because Yellowstone has got him by the you know what. I said this on my Facebook today, and I don't know, but what if Jack would have found the chest, retrieved it, walked into Yellowstone, and said, "Here's your blanking chest, have it. I'm going to sell the story." You think he would have come out better selling the story than the chest?
Well, I definitely think that there's a legal morass that's going on. There's no question about it. My knowledge of Jack from his pre-search churning days and cryptocurrency is that he's going to enjoy at some point achieving the maximum potential. And I don't disagree with other people that think the value of the chest is, some people think the value of the chest goes down each day. Some people think it goes up. Of course, it always depends on what coin prices and gold prices. And again, as we've talked about before, all you need is one person who's got a big checkbook who wants the Forrest Fenn treasure, and they can write one check or multiple people. So, the only thing that
maybe Elon Musk will decide for 40, what was it? $44 billion. He'll buy it.
44 billion. Most of that he made just trading cryptocurrency. So, but anyway, your point about Yellowstone has Jack, my interpretation, and I could be completely wrong because I'm neither an infectious disease expert on COVID-19 nor a practicing attorney, but my thought process, I just wanted to say that as a disclaimer. My thought process is that Carl Summers and Jack's attorney, Tom, are very, very smart individuals. And I think they've worked this masterfully for their clients. I think that Forrest trying to say weeks before his demise that this is eventually going to come out, he was the one who said 2 people can keep a secret. You obviously had a meeting with Jack himself, Tom, and Sarah from Yellowstone National Park. And then she went out to the spot with the deputy or her vice, people in the family. My interpretation of Cynthia, who I like, is that she has a great relationship with the Fenn family and certainly Shiloh, and that's just obvious to everyone.
And I think that will, in the end of the day, that could come out to be really good for us. So
again, I think this will all come out eventually.
Totally believe that. It already, look at how much is out. It's taken some time and it's been in little pieces and bits.
And so I think this will all come out eventually. I think the joint defense against these type of attacks against either the Fenn estate or Jack have been successful. I thought this has been an astounding development that not because we as the people of the search community get to see documents that, if they are to be accurate, which I believe they are, obviously that filing is on the record today from the document that we saw on Sunday. And then McCracken's response today, and that response today, and I can pull that slide up for those of us that saw it today, I think it was bullet point 7 of what McCracken was drafting to potentially to submit, actually mentions Yellowstone and 9 Mile Hole in it, where the previous document only mentioned the government. And you could easily discern that Sarah Davis, if you looked up what her job was, that she's the chief ranger at Yellowstone, but it didn't even mention Yellowstone. Now we have that in a reply document, which means that if Jamie McCracken, AKA Harry McCracken, has evidence, why would he put Yellowstone or 9 Mile Hole in there if he hadn't already seen documentation that justifies him doing so? So I believe this is this is all going to unravel over the next couple of months. And again, the point that I started this off, because you and I go all over the place because we like doing that when we talk to each other, is I just have my heart goes out to people in the Chase community that aren't feeling good about that this week. I know that this is, there are people that are saying vindication or whatever. I'm not that guy. I've lived too long to say I told you so, or I'm right or I'm wrong. And I came to the Chase way too late to have any platform to stand on to say, I had a place in the community to take pleasure. And I don't disparage anybody who is. And I think anybody who wants to do that, I don't think it's an attractive thing, personally.
I think this is a lesson. There's a much deeper, and I think John and I are both business owners. We both have employees, or in your case, you're the CEO. And people are interesting. I think the bigger, lesson here is, I'm trying to think where I was going with it, is the way people act, how involved they got. Look at how personally this is taken to some people, but not getting the solve. They think that solve is owed to them. And I get it. I want to know it too, but I'm more apt to just say, if it doesn't come, I've got a family, I've got a business, I've got other things to do in my life, or they're kind of still stuck in this. And how addicting, I think this Chase has been a lesson in how addicting things can be. And how we just need to, there might be another something someday like this that we can get involved in again. And I think you have to set a certain amount of time aside to do things like this. Even I got more involved in this than I should have for as many hours as my day as I put into it.
Yeah. And I never make the mistake of trying to tell people how they should feel. What I can tell people is that I appreciate you. I have gratitude for everybody I've met in the community. And for those of you that aren't feeling great about this right now, I appreciate you. I have gratitude that you've been part of the community that has been great to me since I've been in the Chase. And yeah, I feel more relaxed and less anxiety. I know some people have more this week, and it's cool. We're all cool. Everything's good. And let's just keep seeing what's coming out. And I think the people that this week have said, well, the truth is the most important thing. That's what we should focus on, and not personalities, and not, people that are unhappy with other people in the Chase. I'm not going to tell other people what they should do or not do. And you and I have a lot of friends in the community on all sides of things that are going on right now. And I just have gratitude and appreciation for everybody. And the bottom line is, this is a big thing, I think, that's happened this week. I do think it's accurate. So
I've always said, choose to see the good in people, meaning every single one of us, me, John, Christy, Ben, everyone has our faults. And just try not to concentrate on that. I mean, each one of us has good things. So concentrate on that and just try to get along.
So, if we focus back on, I'm not going to bring up slides on the documents. I think there's been other shows that have done an excellent job of back and forth over these documents. So I always say, anybody can read the documents. So what are the takeaways, or what is the practical things that we can derive from them? And first of all, we know that, in my opinion, unfortunately for the Forrest Fenn family or the estate, and in this case, Jack Stuef, we've got someone who this information is getting to us. And it's to me, it's a very, just like we had in the You Don't Know Jack, a double-edged sword. I don't think people should be suing the Forrest Fenn family or Jack Stuef because they believe that the solve was in a different state or so on and so forth. But I have to be appreciative that this information, we're learning about what happened. And so, there's two sides to that. I believe the basis of this lawsuit is ludicrous as I read it, on the McCracken side, but that's my personal opinion.
I 100% agree. I was just thinking, if these lawsuits didn't happen, would this eventually come out? I don't think the Fenn family nor Jack wants ever wanted to, to end this way. I don't think they want to keep it from us. I think if you're going to be mad at anybody, I would say turn your attention towards Yellowstone. I think they're the problem. And I really don't want to blame Forrest and all this. He is the one who hit it on a national park. The way, I mean, certainly the way it looks. I mean, I realize there are still people that are arguing it's not there, but man, the facts really are pointing towards that.
Yeah, we're just going through, looking through chat. JK Pioneer, winner of a Bobby Dazzler t-shirt and a Dude poker chip, said Sarah Davis is Chief of Resources and Visitor Protection. She's not the Chief Ranger. That would be Pete Webster. Yeah, JK, you're right. Her official title is what JK posted, but she's referred to in all kinds of articles as the Chief Ranger as well, too. So I think that's good clarification on if someone wants to know who Sarah is, you can look her up on there and get that information. So good point of information.
Copper Dan, wasn't it worth the time and fun though? This is from A. Absolutely. Oh my God, had so much fun doing all this, but like everything, do it in moderation.
Yeah, and for me, getting, our friendship, the World Series of Fen, getting out to Vegas, going to Florida with you and Ben and Ashley and seeing Gary Drayton, and and we keep having fun each week. Yeah, at least I feel this is fun on this show, and we're trying to keep it positive. And we're going to do that. And the fact that we've already raised $1,000 in this next round of fundraising for St. Jude's, and we haven't even given anything away yet, is pretty darn cool. So Dan, let's talk about the fact that if we believe that there's confirmation that the Forrest Fenn treasure was secreted in Yellowstone National Park, and it's interesting that the word is buried. I think that the gentleman who submitted that motion to intervene, and there were typos in it that were shown on other channels, and there were things that were just copied from what Sarah Davis reported. So I think that led a lot of people to say, is this legit? Like, is this a real document, or is somebody making this up? But if you take that document and then what's come out this week, the thought process is that the treasure chest was the one that we saw in the photos that were released 2 weeks ago, that was actually quote unquote buried up to the lid, that was found. And I'm just watching all the other shows and listening, and people are saying that is that Dry Creek across from Fen Rock at 9 Mile Hole. And while the only 9 Mile Hole proof that we have is in McCracken's document, and you would have to assume that he has evidence to say that the documentation that he has received in evidence would lead him to believe that those he is naming in this suit are reporting that that's where it was found. That there was this whole thing about 9 Mile Hole, the fact that there's no infrastructure there, there's no bathrooms, there's no, it's a place to stop. You can drive in there. It's obviously everyone knows it's a legendary fly fishing destination and hole if you're going to fish for trout. And in Yellowstone National Park at Yellowstone, whether it's there or on the Firehole River, we know from the Fenn fishing journals and so on and so forth, all of the things we know, this, all the shows we've done about, Teachers with Ropes and Halt and Madison Junction being where Warm Waters halt, and Madison Canyon being the canyon down. And we can talk if we have time, or people want to hear more about, Home of Brown. And of course, I've got that one slide to show tonight that I told you about, but that this, in fact, would be the location. The picture of Forrest's dad by the rock, Skippy not on the page of the big picture, no place for the meek. Well, the only person that's not meek on that page is his dad, who's meek, and actually that's the only picture of someone standing in the water there. And if you believe the Home of Brown is the honey hole or the spawning area or whatever, if that's that area, what do you think about this extraordinary development of Yellowstone National Park, or on their behalf as the Department of Justice / DOI intervening in this McCracken case before the deposition of Jack Stuef, with the justification being, and this is not legalese and I may get this wrong, that it would be a detriment to government-owned public lands, that if the location came out in that deposition, that it would cause undue burden to the United States government to try to maintain those lands in that area. And again, I'm not going to get into legalese, but that to me is the general gist of it. What do you think about that?
I think Yellowstone was hoping to sweep this under the rug when it happened. I think they probably give Jack and Forrest a little slap on the wrist and said, and I don't know if there's something else that happened, a donation or anything that may have happened to quiet Yellowstone, but I don't have proof of that, so I'm not going to go down that road. But I think Yellowstone wanted to just sweep this under the rug and make it go away. What they didn't realize is we're not going away. I mean, it's been 2+ years. Here we are. We're still, we, as some people say, we want our 9 clues. We want some answers to the puzzle, to the location. I think more to the puzzle than almost the location.
Yeah, there's another double-edged sword in the fact that Yellowstone has had to, there's been one death in the park related to the fen search. There's been a couple of rescues. There was the unfortunate digging up of the grave in Mammoth Hot Springs.
So we did
but when you think of all the people that have paid to get into the park,
I know it.
Have camped there, spent money, gone to see other things in Yellowstone. You'd have to say if you did a total, if somebody way up in the sky could say the total benefit to Yellowstone Park because of the Forrest Fen treasure hunt has been a benefit or a negative to Yellowstone, you could easily argue in the positive for that.
Oh, that it takes you to the saying, what does one bad apple spoil the bunch? And if you really look at it, there was a search or death, and that is not a good thing. And there were a couple people that had to be rescued, and there was some holes dug. And the grave, obviously, the graveyard isn't a cool thing. Yeah, but that's just a small handful of things of the thousands and thousands of searchers that go up there and spend money to get into the park. And then when you're in the park, you're spending money in West Yellowstone. And anyway, Yellowstone was hoping to sweep this under the rug and make it go away. And then this lawsuit happened, and they got to be going like crap, because either Jack's going to be forced to talk, or they're going to step in and say, Jack, you can't talk, in which case that just narrowed, right in on Yellowstone. Like, that pretty much proves, why in the world would Yellowstone step in if it wasn't in their park?
A couple things on chat. So Woody says, have either of you seen proof that, other than the pictures by Capo, that these documents are real? I did see Goldilocks posted on Thor, the court ledger being posted today.
Yes, the court ledger, the official, is out there. And I'm guessing if you look through it, I bet you the spelling error is fixed.
Treasure Warrior says, is this not Jack and Forrest telling a human it was in the forest? They never saw a chest there. How do they know? Well, I totally agree with that, even though I think it's legitimate to try to get attorneys involved to do that. If that is a ruse better than the thrill of the chase. But it also would ask one to wonder, besides the financial gain, that if someone in the sky could do the ledger, is that Mr. Fen was a man of great means. People estimate his net worth at the time of his death of potentially over $100 million. Were there donations being made to the United States National Park Service or Yellowstone National Park? Who knows? And I'm not saying anything nefarious happened, just a donation, not paying anybody under the table. But, we don't know any of that. I would tend to think the best of everyone involved until it's proven, until a negative is proven. And I would say, using Occam's razor, that Jack's attorney, Tom, said, I am going to do everything I can to protect you, Jack Stuef. And I think the best way we do that is by talking with Forrest and Carl and saying, we want to have a conversation with Yellowstone to ensure that you are not liable for anything that happens in regards to this.
No.
And to try to convince Yellowstone that it's in their best interests to not have the location come out because of the potential whatever, if we all say poppycock, 50 to 100 people are going to go there. You had how many people at Fishing Bridge? Are all of a sudden you're going to have, 400, the people that run into the lake on New Year's Eve and, the polar bears. I mean, are there going to be 200 people on June 5th and 6th every year, splashing across the Madison?
It's going to happen. It's going to be, it would be this June. And if the location were released this summer, would be a busy summer in that area. And I almost promise you next summer would be maybe 1/10 of what this summer was. And the summer after that might be 1 or 2 stray searchers that just like to go back year after year. But it's not going to be 100,000 people. I mean,
Wander MTCs, I think Yellowstone is overblown danger and the possible damage, but it's their job to mitigate the facilities and visitors. Absolutely. So, one thing that I've been saying the last couple of days is, our hearts are in this. So there's conversations about, should there be a plaque by Fenn Rock, and should there be some people, they should build a bridge over the Madison. And we all know that's never going to happen. It's a fly fishing paradise. But I think, when the dust settles, yes, do I think Yellowstone's overblown? But I've listened to Cynthia talk about how disgusting that stop at 9 Mile can be when, there's no bathroom there and people pull in there thinking there might be one. And so I get that. So I get all the different sides of it, except to say that I think Yellowstone is for the centuries and the Fenn Chase was for decades and hopefully for the centuries. But they have their attractions. They have Old Faithful. They have the falls. They have Fishing Bridge. They have Mammoth Hot Springs. The park it's like the difference between Parliament in England and the House of Windsor. The House of Windsor is about thousands of years, and the people that are there to maintain Yellowstone think in thousands of years, while we're thinking in, the immediacy of the thrill of the chase. So I had just some exchanges with Vertigo and Rudy Green on that during another show in chat. Would I love to see Forrest honored there? Absolutely. Do I think we have to settle for it being Fenn Rock? I think that's what the answer is.
3D Brian says, it's about Yellowstone National Park setting a precedent. The fear of searchers destroying park features is just their excuse leverage. Now, before I just scrolled down and read what the Treasure Warriors wrote, I was already thinking the same thing in my head. And let me find it. Yes, Yellowstone National Park has set a precedent. Indeed, it is okay to hide a chest there. It is okay to possibly be dug out and not get in trouble.
I mean that's the same thing of why are they getting involved in the first place, right? So why are they getting involved? I think is that Treasure Warriors that you just read?
Yeah. So, but I was thinking the same thing in my head.
That connects the previous post of, so Dan and I call Yellowstone National Park, our attorneys do, and say, hey, we have to have a meeting with you. There's something very serious where we think it could be a detriment to the park, and we want to do a Zoom meeting with you because you probably know about this treasure chest that Copper Dan hid, called the Troll's Cache, and it was in Yellowstone National Park, and we actually have the finder, and we're keeping this all confidential. But there's this huge fear that if this location comes out, you're going to be dealing with a lot of things that we think are going to be detrimental to the park, and we also want to come clean and let you know that the chest was located there. The finder returned it to Forrest. We went through a gifting program. All that was done legally. So Carl and Tom did all that jujitsu and hand-to-hand combat before that Zoom meeting took place in August of 2020. But to Treasure Warriors' point, Yellowstone's sure taken a lot of things on faith. I mean, there's no proof that a chest was ever there. And you're setting a precedent to say, boy, Copper Dan, if you and I decide that we want to take our life savings out and do another $1 million hunt, even though we would do it by proxy and not put it in the chest, but hide a chest, why can't we do it in Yellowstone Park? Forrest and Jack got away with it. They had a meeting with the park and said, so I do think there's an interesting precedent that could be set here of, be careful what Yellowstone Park wishes for. They're taking a lot on faith. However, I have to believe that if a finder and a person of Forrest stature are going to take it to the point with their attorneys to go through the process of going through Yellowstone. This is legitimate, but I believe Ben's points are completely legitimate that, boy, the national park is setting a new precedent that we're okay with having treasure chests in our parks.
I mean, I think my first treasure hunt, I put it at the top of Carlton Peak. I didn't take the time to look into where I was putting it. I didn't think there was going to be an issue or a problem. The problem came to be is that the guys used metal detectors to find the damn thing.
I'm laughing at Mike and says, John, you and Dan would leave Yellowstone National Park in handcuffs.
Yeah.
Well, I actually have a little bit of a in with Ranger Jack Packer, so we might be able to get out of it.
All right. Well, we're going to bring them with next time.
That's right.
Anyways, I hid not the Trolls Cache. I hid the magic box, the first treasure hunt, the top of Carlton Peak. These guys go up there with metal detectors in the dead of winter. They find it, retrieve it, film it, publish the film. And that's on a weekend. On a Monday morning, my phone rings. And it's the DNR from the county up there asking me if I hit a treasure chest on National Forest, National Park, on National Forest. I'm like, oh my God, my heart just about jumped out of my chest. I'm like, yeah. I mean, at that point, you're just better off to tell the truth. So they wanted to know the name. They said, well, we don't have such a big issue with what you did, even though we would have liked you have gotten permission. What we have an issue with is the guys that found it. Oh, I know what's happening right now. The guys who found it. Oh, I thought you were going to come back as the Ranger.
No, I think people will want that. I think they're going to say, what happened to that guy? Are we ever going to see him again?
Anyways, go ahead.
Hey, Tyler's in the house. Hey, Tyler, how you doing, man? Tyler took a couple of weeks off from the chase, and God bless him. He needed to do that. And Dan, you've done that before. And if that's what you need to do to bring it all together and be positive like Tyler is again, that's fantastic. Love you, Tyler. We still got the silver 1973 American Revolution bicentennial coin that Tyler donated as one of the prizes for St. Jude's. And Tyler, we love you, brother.
Absolutely, man. Thank you.
Yes,
anyways, I got off of it with a don't do it again. The four guys that found it using a metal detector. I had to divulge their phone numbers, so I had to get them. I called them and said, so the Grand Marais DNR is going to give you a call, but don't worry. I've already smoothed things over with them with a substantial donation. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, he thought it was pretty fun, pretty cool what we did. However, he said what everybody did was wrong, was illegal, but we just got a slap on the wrist and we all went on their way. So when I ran the Trolls Cache, it's just so difficult. It just sucks that you can't have fun. Why can't you hide a treasure chest in Yellowstone Park? It's the people's land. We own the damn land.
Because they don't want more dookie at the 9 Mile Nukie, my friend. Come on.
Yeah, go talk to the most of that stuff is not from us. It's from the fishermen out
Rudy
there.
Green now says the precedent is set that the finder will be left with a legal S show from now on. Interesting take, Rudy. I always appreciate your take on things.
I think we should all roll into Yellowstone National Park with American flags and take our park back.
Yeah. So what do you want to do next? We're almost at an hour, but we talked about going a little long tonight.
I said we're probably going to end up going long because we got a lot to.
We want to talk about the slip up.
You know what? Let's talk about the slip up. Before we talk about the slip up, when you get the stuff ready, I'm going to give a book away.
All right. I think we'll be ready by the time you give the book away, if I can.
I just need guys, just give me a couple of seconds here. Let's see. What do we
I'm glad you said that because I don't know if I am ready for the slip up. So you do what you got to do.
I got to pull up YouTube and I got to pull up comment picker. And comment picker for.
Oh, I am ready. I will be ready for the slip up after you finish. But you know what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen? This is the time where Packer Jack does a refill while Copper Dan is giving away a book. I'll be right back.
All right. All right. Don't mind me. I am just looking for episode 12. All right. Copy. There we go.
You good there, buddy?
All right. We are up.
Oh, cool. I can see it. Where are we comment pickering from here? Oh, you're muted, Dan. Dan, all this wonderful talking you've been doing for the last couple seconds, you're muted. So still showing you. There you go.
All right. Well, man. So yeah, you guys heard nothing what I just said. I was talking about the we had the St. Jude's ad that was on there.
Yeah.
And if you're around your phone and you're just saying the word St. Jude's and all of a sudden ads start popping up, or of course, in my case, I've been Googling it. Anyways, this is from episode 12 last week. So I'm going to paste this in here. We're going to filter out duplicate users, and we're going to see how many comments. 30 comments. This is for.
Way to go, guys.
This is for the story of Leverett in Enchanting Hair. This is a treasure hunting book. The artwork in this is stunning. It's second to none. This is done by Beth. This is who did the map for the Trolls Cache. I have heard nothing but good things about the people that have got their books. So we're going to give this book away. And right.
Treasure Warrior says wait 30 more seconds. Sorry, you didn't comment.
All right. We'll give 15 seconds here. If anyone has not already commented, you know what? That I'd have to do it again though.
No, you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do, Dan.
Now there's still 30 comments, so we're gonna go with it.
Oh.
Drum roll, please. Dun, 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 dun. Jim Romansky.
That was Jim Romanowski. I'd be like, wow, we're giving it to the Denver linebacker. Holy crap.
I wonder if he's romance. I bet you he got called that a lot growing up. Jim Romansky. Jim Romansky. Congratulations. The difference between Matt and Cynthia's story about his visit could be as simple as Matt didn't see or sense any angst amongst the family. He knew he was new there and had no reason to believe he had his visit had caused the family dust up. When Cynthia was there, perhaps the family confided in their frustrations. That's because last week we were talking about the whole Matt and Cynthia debacle. The Matt showing up and
June 5th and 6th, 2020. We went into depth on the last episode. If you didn't see it, it's we got a lot of great feedback on that episode, which I was surprised. I didn't think it would be a fan favorite, but a lot of people responded to that one.
Jim Romansky, congratulations. I will reach out to you if you're not in chat. If you are in chat, copperdan17@gmail.com, and I will get your book out as early as tomorrow, and I'll ship it FedEx today, and you could have it by Thursday of this week. And you could potentially be winning millions and millions of dollars in prizes, or thousands, whichever comes first.
It's fantastic.
And freaking what now? I didn't show people this map where I asked Jack if he wanted to sign it where the treasure chest was, but I never showed this. How did you get a copy of this package, Jack?
Yep, this is the new map, the benchmark map that Dan had Jack sign and Forrest sign. And actually, if you look at the can Jack, it points right to 9 Mile Hole. Isn't that amazing? Oh, all right. I
Now,
had some fun with this, but so anyways,
yeah,
we
yeah.
had some fun taking these
Just
signatures and
in
moving
full
off.
disclosure, and we better let the people know in full disclosure, I can't say this has been photoshopped, but it has been doctored
Or Packard.
or Packard. There we go. That's the new word, Packard.
So this was, I told Deanna we'd pull this up at some point just to catch people up on today. This was actually from a draft of McCracken's reply where he was asking for any information from people before he responded to the motion to intervene. And this was the first time today that you actually had a document that's being submitted in this court action that actually mentions Yellowstone Park. We had Sarah Davis's name mentioned in the motion to intervene, which is pretty easy to put two and two together, like has been done on Sunday and Monday yesterday by the wonderful shows that were on and all the discussions online and on Facebook. But this one today, McCracken actually mentions Yellowstone Park, and he says searchers have been going to 9 Mile as they suspect it to be the location for some time, but no damage has been reported. So McCracken is going back saying, don't allow Yellowstone or the Department of Justice to intervene because 50 to 100 people going there once a year, you've got 4 million people coming through. It'll be interesting to see how this gets resolved, even though we think the overall McCracken claim is meritless. This will be very interesting to see what responses come and if there's still a deposition of Jack on the 29th. And if in fact Jack is asked to not answer by representatives from the United States government when questions are asked, or Jack refuses to answer questions if that deposition actually takes place. Will be interesting to see what happens as this gets resolved. But today we actually see this. Now this is just McCracken's response. He's going pro se or representing himself in this case without an attorney. This document, splicing this part of this document, is not in any way a legal document based on anything other than potentially what Jamie McCracken has seen from the Fenn estate or from Jack Stuef provided as evidence in this case. Listening to Cynthia over the last couple of days and the last week, she believes McCracken has a lot of this stuff that he was provided to say, you're wrong. This wasn't in your search location. Your solve wasn't stolen. And that he has all the exchanges between Jack and Forrest, that still has yet to be proven and shown. But this continues to lead in the direction that what we've seen Sunday and yesterday is legit. Not saying it is 100%, but you'd be hard pressed to convince me that it's not going in the direction of this all being accurate. And as we said, when we asked that question was asked earlier, how do you know this is legit? Well, now the document that we were shown on Sunday has been, is legally on the ledger where you can get it. I believe you can purchase it for like 35 cents a page if you actually want to purchase the document.
Or you could probably go on to, is it on Thor?
Yeah. So sneaky listening, researching Packer Jack heard a slip up on Sunday morning.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I'm not going to release breaking news, but
I don't have
Forrest said I could go right to it, the home of Brown. And then on the show on Sunday on Kaulazar's with Cynthia, towards the end of the show, she says, I don't really want to talk about where the home of Brown is. K-Pro talked about her thoughts, and Cynthia just said, when the time is right, I'll release that. And then again, when they did the show yesterday, Cynthia said the same thing. But I went back to the show on Sunday, the Kaulazar show on Sunday morning, to minute 42. And ladies and gentlemen of the Copper Factory audience, I submit to you the exact transcript taken just after minute 42 of Cynthia Meacham on the Kaulazar show on Sunday morning. All summer, when Jens and Rudy and I and some other people, and again, you'll see dots because she was talking conversationally and Mike was asking questions intermittently. All summer, when Jens and Rudy and I and some other people, I waded across that river at least one round trip a day, almost all throughout all of summer, as did many others. And what happened was the people that were actually fishing there at 9 Mile, actually in the hole, they actually got really pissed off at us. I actually had people tell me to get the hell out of the water, get back into the trees. As I walked from where we crossed, like to the dry creek to the wet creek, the fishermen got really mean. Some of them, I did feel a little bit bad for them. We really did disrupt their fishing. And here it comes, people. And not all people are like me, where I went to wade across below the home of Brown, where it is really shallow. People that are tall, really tall, like Justin and Rudy, they can wade across anywhere that they want to wade. So yeah, that's absolutely true about searchers. If they go into the fishing hole area, I do think they can ruin that where the lava edges, sorry, it's not lava, it's lava edges. I really do believe that they could ruin it or affect it. So in that little minute of the Kalazar show from Sunday morning, Cynthia says, I went to wade across below the home of Brown, where it is really shallow. That tells me that Cynthia believes the home of Brown, in her own words, is in that area that she describes between the dry creek and the wet creek.
Ladies and gentlemen,
by the lava shelf.
We present to you evidence.
And that is the slip up, my friends, where Cynthia actually said at minute 42, go watch it, of the Kalazar show on Sunday, where she talks about wading across below the home of Brown. Dun, dun, dun. That's it. I got more presentation and slides and honey holes and lots of things. We're already past an hour. We talked about teachers with ropes, Dan. We've gone through all of this. There's so many Packer Jack PowerPoint presentations and slides ready to go, but we're already at 9.
Wow. Let's go back to chat and see what's going on.
Jen says,
Davio said, love it. Treasure Warriors, some random story about some random hole that only fishermen knows.
Random hole. Hooli actually posts minute 42 with the YouTube link if you want to see it yourself. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Davio says LOL. Just wanted to point out we didn't have to wait for Cynthia to tell us Homer Brown. She said it in minute 42. So
then one more thing before we get out of here. Just randomly talk.
Brady Brown says the only thing that proved is that Packer Jack likes to listen to himself talk. Touche, brother. Touche. Are you going to show the St. Jude's link?
I am going to show the St. Jude link. Just
awesome.
Give me a moment. I have to find it. Smart Searcher would have already had this pulled up, but it won't take me long. Oh, Jesus, Dan, where did you put it?
Two old guys like the Muppet balcony dudes. Copper Dan's trying to find the link to St. Jude. Somebody says Cynthia believed in the GPS as well. USA China Sam says specialized knowledge. Indeed. You know, there's no question that if the home of Brown is a honey hole in the river, where is that in the book? You know, you talk about old Charlie Simpson and rumblings and ramblings, but that's not in TTOTC. So yeah, you can take where warm waters halt at Madison Junction to the canyon down. You could say too far to walk gives you 4.2 for 4.2 miles from Madison Junction to 9 Mile Hole. If you look it up, driving or walking, it is 4.2. But then there's numbers involved. Were there numbers involved or not? Fen Rock to me and below the home of Brown are probably it if you believe the 9 Mile Solve or that. And it'll be very interesting if we ever get a definitive explanation from either in Forrest's words or video or Jack on what Forrest actually said the home of Brown was. Yep, seems like a lot of contradictions adding up. Yeah, I don't disagree. If you just have the poem, a good map, and the book, you can see Fen Rock. You can, if Forrest's dad isn't meek and he's the only one in the water, could you put in there? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's as simple as that. And you come to learn later about the whole honey hole, but I don't know how you get that. Go Alone in there? Yes. Alone with the Teacher, whatever her name was. Yeah. The old Charlie Simpson, he liked to leave me alone. That's not in TTOTC. Some people say Charlie Brown. Forrest might have thought Fenn Rock looked like Charlie Brown or had the swiggle like Charlie Brown's hair. Lucy called Charlie Brown a blockhead. And his grandpa was Charlie. And if you say Charlie, but again, it's Carl with a C. It only talks about his grandmother's name in TTOTC. And there's a picture and it says CARL for his grandfather. So Charlie isn't even mentioned in that book. It's very, very interesting.
Here we go. Hang on.
Just trying to fill the air because as 3D Bronze is red, I do love to.
I know. I'm sorry, guys.
Man, I kind of am sad that I missed that guy that came on earlier tonight. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the show.
I just found it.
All right.
I had it in my email. The problem is I get so many emails from all of our fans.
All right, we're down to 91 now. We're at 110, but you lost 20 people while you're screwing around.
Screwing around, and now it won't open. Nice link, guys. Really.
All right. It was I think Hooli might have posted it in the chat.
Hang on, I got it. All right. So we are at. All right, I'm going to share a screen here. Dun, 1,000.
We got another $1,025.
So you guys don't click on register. In fact, I thought I took that off there. Click on make gift. Actually, if it has you click on register in the link that I have on this, just click on register and it'll still take you. You don't have to register or anything.
We got all kinds of gifts. We've got more. We got another Gary Drayton map. We've got the Living River signed by Charles Brooks. We've got the Kodaks. We've got the 1973 silver coin. The list is going to go on and on and on. Plus, I feel like this is a public, like we're on Wisconsin public television or Minnesota public television, where we're taking time out from You Don't Know. If you've enjoyed just one episode of You Don't Know Jack, please make at least a $5 donation to St. Jude's.
All right. I'm sorry.
Copper Dan and Packer Jack making ridiculous comments about drawings from the Forrest Fenn books. Please make a donation to St.
Anyways, if you go into the description of this video, you will find a link that I may actually update. But in the meantime, the link will work. It will take you there. And you click on register or donate, and it gives suggested donations or others. So if you don't have, I think the lowest suggested donation might be like 20. But if you just want to donate $1, $2, $5, you just click the other box. Give if you can. You may enter even if you don't. And what are we going to give away next week, my friend? What should we do?
I think we got to do the Gary Drayton map. We've been talking about it for a while. It's finally time to give the Gary Drayton map that comes with a certificate of authenticity and a picture of Gary actually signing the map. Now, you could go onto eBay right now and try to find something signed for Gary. There might be a couple of things around $50, some are $250. But the fact that this is Gary signing an actual map between Oak Island and Florida, where he treasure hunts, and the fact that it's from the Forrest Fenn chase community, that when Ben and Ashley and Dan and I went down to metal detect with him, and it's a special thing. If it means something to you, great. If it doesn't, that's great. But if you want to make a donation, you don't have to win. You simply need to now make a comment on what video, Dan? This one tonight, right?
This one tonight. All right, hang on, guys. So finally, my internet decided to catch up. So this is what you're gonna come to. So you can the suggested donations, or if you just click on the other, you can type in something a little smaller. You can give with PayPal. You can just type in your credit card number. Oh, I can give you all my personal. I don't care if you guys see where I live. Everybody knows where I live. It's not like it's. But anyways, and so we're gonna give away. Why don't you show the map one more time?
Yeah. So this is a framed map of not only the continental United States, but going just to the tip of South America. And we actually had Gary Drayton from the Curse of Oak Island sign this map for us. We have the pictures of him signing it for authentication, and he was happy to do it for us. If you're into Oak Island, great. If you're not, you don't know who Gary is, you might be like, whatever. Again, if you want to donate. You don't have to donate to win. But remember, we've got other things that might turn you on if this doesn't. Silver coin from 1973, stuff from artwork that Dan has. We've got that book, The Living River, signed by Charles Brooks, which is amazing to have that book to give away. I realized, Dan, that when you asked me, are you going to give away the one that you got that was signed or not? And then I said, well, I'll give away the signed one. That a hardcover Charles Brooks book is selling for like $250 without his signature. So that one's actually worth some dough with his signature in it, of the Living River, that has that beautiful map of
sorry, John. Sorry, just kind of, John's like, there goes that $250. And
nope, I don't care. As you know, I'm a man of my word. And you said, which one are you giving away? And I'm like, if this is going to St. Jude, let's give away the book. If someone wins it and wants to sell it, they can, or they can keep it as a memento of the thrill of the chase.
Man, so just keep tuning in. We got lots of things. We're going to be going week after week. I think we got enough stuff to go for at least 7-8 weeks.
I think Vertigo wants that book. Charlie Brooks signed book. Vertigo's probably like going nuts.
How are we doing on You Don't Know Jack? How many weeks since we've done a drawing for that?
I think that we'll do one more episode next week, and then we will close the Copper Kettle after next week and do a drawing again. Barry won a t-shirt last week. I did get that out in the mail today. Sorry that didn't go out last week, Barry, if you're watching, but you'll get your t-shirt. And we've got about 4 more of those t-shirts to give away. And so we will go to the Copper Kettle after next week's episode.
All right. Honeybee, so that's a good donation. It helps the bad rep of searchers. Honeybee, you should have been here when I gave that the map away. We had like $15,000.
Yep.
But these are smaller prizes. Like I say, you don't need to give big donations if you don't have it to give. That's okay.
I'm going to say something tonight without saying what it is, but the fact that we're already over $1,000 donated is that I'm going to talk with Dan, and we may come together to do something extraordinary again. Not on the level of Forrest and Jack signing the benchmark map, but something that will pique everyone's interest of value. And it's,
are you talking about doing an episode in the nude?
No, I don't want people to start deducting from the St. Jude's balance. So there's going to be no Magic Mike. Maybe that Ranger Jack Packer guy will, but I will not be doing that.
I'm got to be washing my hair that night.
Yeah. I'm not into the mustaches and thongs, but we'll see. Maybe Ranger Jack Packer.
Well, I don't even know what my partner's talking about, but we will discuss that off air. It's all for you people because we love you so much. We actually do. And stay positive. And this has been one of the most fun, positive things in my life since 2020. And the friendship I have with Dan and with all of those of you that I've met in person or gotten to know through chat and everything. Let's keep the positivity going. And it's summer. Let's have some fun this summer. Get out. If summer ever comes. Good Lord, it's been cold. I don't know about down by you, but today was like in the 30s up here. Right. You know, for the people that hung out, should I do the See the Sunshine presentation or not? If you don't mind staying on, I'm happy. My wife's in bed. Guys, this is going to be a treat. Matt, we're just having fun. And those of you that stuck around, 78 of you still watching live. Oh, this is about to see the sunshine. I knew if I kept my partner on long enough, he'd have enough of that gin and tonic, or we could get him to do this. You can say gin and tonic, but it's actually citron and soda. Let me know if you can see the screen, Dan. Did I share yet or not? You have not shared. Okay, let me escape out. Let me share screen. And let me pick the right presentation. Always remember to watch to the very end because you never know. You never know if there's going to be something good at the end with Packer Jack and Copper Dan. See the sunshine. Here we go. See the sunshine. Now, I'll give it to you, partner. The floor is yours. If it's June 5th, 2020, and you are a member of a group
affectionately known as the Nookers, and you are going to search for the Forest Fen treasure in a place that you believe is called the Island. It starts at the Wet Creek. I believe this is a picture of Rudy Green's. I may be mistaken on that, but photo credit, that is an extraordinary, extraordinary photo. It's gorgeous. And if that's yours, Rudy, congratulations. If not, whoever took it, I want to make sure we give you photo credit for it. No super chats on this show. We're not trying to make money here. If you want to give money, give it to St. Jude. So hopefully whoever this photo is, if it's not Rudy's, you don't want us to use it, we won't. Apologize in advance. But so this is what you would take if you walked down, if you're at 9 Mile Hole and you were walking down to say, here is where I believe the Forest Fen treasure is on June 5th. This is actually the picture that Matt DeMoss posted on his cover photo on June 5th, 2020, standing in that approximate 2021, sorry. The chest supposedly was located for the first time on June 5th, 2021. Matt updated his cover photo on June 5th, 2021. But look where Matt decided to show a photo of. He's not looking directly across at the Wet Creek. Now, maybe he just wanted to look to downstream and take a photo. But the fact that he made this photo, his cover page photo, and you could say, well, maybe he wanted a photo with fen rock on it, but there's actually a branch of the tree that's covering fen rock, so it can't be that. So yes, you could say Matt just wanted to take a nice picture downstream when he was about to go across to the place where the Nookers actually thought the chest was. Could he have been part of a group where him being part of the Nookers was a ruse to protect the fact that the man who was with Forrest Fenn in his house on June 6th returned 1 year later on June 5th and actually took a picture and then commented to say it's the Madison River in Yellowstone. And then when you take a look at exactly where Matt's looking at, where the line of sight is for the photograph, it is literally across from Fen Rock at the Dry Creek. Wet Creek to the island is just out of the frame on the left-hand side. Fen Rock is hidden behind the tree branch. Let's take a look at from where that photo is taken, June 5th, 2021, when it's put on Matt's Facebook page. What is Matt pointing at in the field of vision? That's not Matt, by the way. That's a cartoon character, and I don't know Matt. And
oh,
again,
I'm glad you clarified that.
But if you actually look towards the left side of the screen, the Wet Creek is actually completely out of the field of vision on the photo that Matt posted on June 5th, 2021 as his cover photo on Facebook. Where is the camera pointing at? Directly across from Fen Rock, where the Dry Creek is. Now let's take a look at it from another angle, Copperdale.
Oh my gosh.
We have Matt with the dotted line to where he's taking the photo. He's standing across from the Wet Creek. You can see the X where the Nooker spot was, as Cynthia has told us. You can see the field of vision where Matt is taking the photo, and you can see where Fen Rock is. Where is Matt's camera pointing on June 5th, 2021? Not here, not at the Dry Creek, or not at the Wet Creek, where the island is. Not looking down at the Wet Creek, if you were there in the morning. And again, I believe these are Rudy's photos, credit to Rudy. But Matt DeMoss, this beautifully handsome man right here, who Dan knows, was actually pointing his camera to put his cover photo at what could be the exact location if you believe in the Dry Creek Solve. And that, my ladies and gentlemen, friends, is why I called this presentation, See the Sunshine. Good night, everybody. Good night, Dan.
You have a good one.
See ya.
Peace. We'll catch you guys next week, same time, same place.